Neja Zupan, welcome to our podcast. You are a PhD in field of organizational sciences. You were researcher and lecturer at the university. You are author of several books and programs, plus you have quite few licenses like Reiki, NLP and Healing by Touch. And on your website you said that life is our biggest teacher. Okay? Could you tell us why is that as a quote on your website? And what do you do to help your clients or people that come to you for help?
First, I will orient this one. Life is the biggest teacher. I perceive world, Earth, planet Earth, as a big classroom. We, as a souls, we come to this classroom to learn. And it's not learning, for example, we go to school to learn for profession. But when we live through our experiences, we live about ourselves, about where we come from, what are we doing here, what is our mission, and where are we headed, so where are we going. And through, if we perceive life as big opportunity to learn, we can really, with different experiences, could be bad or good, so just in quotes, yeah. We can get a lot out of these experiences. We can get wisdom, how to proceed. I also see life like a road, and of course on the road are also could be bricks or trunks of trees or whatever can be, or
whatever obstacle.
Yeah, whatever obstacle. So if we bump into this obstacle and we just start to cry, oh, what's happening to me? Then it's really a small chance that we will continue on the road. But if we take this obstacle as opportunity for us to think, to get knowledge how to overcome this, we can continue.
We can grow as a person, right?
As a person and as a spirit, because only what we learn through our experiences, we take with ourselves also after the death of this body. Yeah, not for example, profession, our profession.
I understand, yeah.
Immediately we actually tackled the human life. Is it ending here or is it continuing? Due to your saying that we are growing also not only as a human but also as a soul. So, could you tell us more about this?
According to my experiences, it's not about reading something, but through my experiences, through my travels, through my meditations, I got in touch with different parts of my soul, being already lived in different lives and spaces.
Wow.
So,
I will just jump here. Like, how did you experience that? Like, how did it show it to you, or through what kind of experience? But how it was shown to you? Like, was like in a dream? Was it like, in what state how did you know that?
Yeah, it was in a dream.
Okay.
It was through meditation.
Okay.
And it was through power plants.
Okay.
That brings you, whatever brings you in the wider perception, yeah. wider perception, a wider awareness of everything. For example, once I was walking on the garden, and whatever I saw, it was like a net, you know, and I had difficulties to step because everything was alive.
Wow.
I mean, I know when you're talking about plant medicine, you're talking about ayahuasca, if you remember correctly, right? When we talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's like several topics already, like I would like to ask you. But before we go to plant medicine, I would like to ask you really a question, if you couldn't explain to us, because it comes to what you said before, we come on this planet to learn as experience, so we can grow. So with that is connected karma. Could you explain to us what is karma? One is like, okay, don't do bad to other people and bad will happen to you or something like that, right? But what is actually karma? Could you explain from your experience or knowledge, like, what is it?
There are two words.
Okay.
One is karma, and the second one is dharma.
Okay.
We have a special luck that we speak Slovenian language, because according to many scientific research, Slovenian language is actually this this origin, this first language also of Sanskrit. So it's some words are very close. One of my friend, he's Indian, he lives in USA, and he has sent me several studies how Slovenian language, Slavic language is like precursor for Sanskrit, yeah. And in Slovenian language, for example, karma. What means karma? Karma, what you have. And dharma, dar, ima, you have talent. So karma means that you live with what you came, and with dharma you live your mission, you live your talents. So very simple. If you just if you don't progress, if you don't
use your talents.
Use your talents, you live your karma.
Wow. I mean, this is a completely new description of karma, which I must say I like it. Yeah. There are several different ones, and I never came across and said, this is what I feel true. I don't know about this which you said now, but I think I will thought a lot about it. Thank you. Really.
So basically, when we are born, we come to this planet, right? We come to this planet, we are born, and then basically we forgot why we came here for, right? So what is our mission? Then through a life experience, you need to learn these lessons or experiences, and if you do in this lifetime, then you leave the karma and you go to the next step. Is that?
You go to dharma.
You go to dharma. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. From karma to dharma.
But is that happens already in this lifetime or in the next one? Like
No.
before you already happens in process of you discovering this.
Can happen in this life or next lives.
Okay.
So we just what we need is not to be attached, you know. That it needs to be right now, because this is again human perception. We just because spirit has completely different timing as a human being. This.
Is it the right expression, soul, or spirit, soul, or?
Yeah, I call it spirit, but how I perceive that soul is this lifetime experience of spirit.
Okay.
But soul is more than ego.
Yeah.
Than mind.
Yeah.
So from mind perspective, time is from A to B. From spiritual or soul perspective is one could be Z and then a B and then can be whatever.
Whatever, yeah. It goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting, yeah. So, if we talked about plant medicine, right? So this is one of the way that you can find what your mission is. Plant medicine is not for everybody. It can be if it's done the right way, but how did you stumble on that? And because I know you told me already, so I'd like you if you can tell that story for the viewers here. So because me personally, I have experience with DMT, magic mushrooms, but I never did ayahuasca treatment yet. So could you tell us a little bit more about it and your experiences?
My story actually started when I was a young teenager. When I started to read books about yoga, when I was 17, 18, I already started meditating. It was quite unusual at that time, so many years back. And through all these studies, and I also went to different retreats. And once I was pulled to do one retreat with one shaman that came from Brazil, but he was teaching us only about how to manage energies without anything. So before actually I enter into a realm of medicine plants, I had quite a lot of knowledge already from yoga, from energies. I did quite a lot of studies already. I also trained international certified craniosacral therapist, and touch for health instructor, and yoga. I did 15 years studying with first lineage holder Swami Ananda Kapila.
Okay.
So before I entered, I was very good, already prepared for everything.
I understand. Yeah.
And then once he eventually brought also the power medicine, and we, his students, we tried this, and my experience was really extraordinary. Really, already the first one. I saw people around me all vomiting and having diarrhea, and me laughing and having good time, and I said, yes, that's it. And this was my first experience. Since then, I started to search where to learn more, how to first help myself through power plants, and then how to help also others.
You had a retreat, right? You had, or you still have, in Brazil, or you worked there? How, I don't remember.
Retreat center.
The retreat center,
yeah,
right?
The retreat center.
Because for me, my experience with, first was magic mushrooms. It really helped me with my anxiety and depression, right? So that was like 12, 13 years ago, maybe something like that. Let's say 10. But I always, when people ask me about this experience, like I always explain them that I was really scared of it, like of unknown, so I studied a lot. I read a lot of books, I saw a lot of videos to try to capture understanding how it's gonna be. It was nothing like that when I read it. It was really different, but however, because I did like 3 days in a row. magic mushrooms, and like in one session, let's say our session was about 6-7 hours. It was nothing special. It was not a lot of visuals, nothing like that. However, like 3 days later, I realized that my anxiety and any negative thoughts were completely gone. And I was like 33 when I was like realized, oh, this is like how normal people feel, huh? Like literally, I woke up on Monday. That was like 3 days later, and I'm like, something is missing in my life, and I didn't understand until afternoon that I don't have anxiety anymore because I was already in that preparing flight, fighting mode every morning, just to start the day with that like, why is this here, right? So that was like I'm like, oh, here is something, right? And then I wrote to University, Hopkins University, and they asked me to write a more, but then I decided like, nah, I didn't write a more, but they were like, oh yeah, you're on the right track, kinda. And DMT for me was amazing experience. So I was, because DMT, for you know that, and for people that don't know it, DMT is part of ayahuasca process, and DMT experience is 7 to 10 minutes, where ayahuasca is longer, right? It's several hours, right?
Yeah.
It's 7, 8.
Usually. Several hours.
So could you just explain us like a little bit the process when you drink it, maybe how it starts, because as per my knowledge, ayahuasca it's much more gentle when it comes to start, right? So it's more, is that correct? Like it's more gentle, brings you.
Depends.
Depends. Okay.
Yeah, very much depends.
Okay.
I have techniques.
Okay.
I develop different techniques
Okay.
that person can enter into broader space of consciousness,
Okay.
like smoothly.
Okay.
This is with breathing. I combine all my knowledge that I have, and with breathing techniques, you can enter smoothly, because how I perceive, you need to give the mind something to work on, because the mind is the biggest enemy of our soul, of our spirit. And if mind gets stuck and doesn't allow, then experience can be very hard. Because it's like a big concrete on your path, you know, and you need to know how to overcome. So in my sessions, I usually invite people, or through breathing, we have a special session with breathing, or without breathing. But I also invite people to sing mantras, and with mantras it's also easier to go deeper, to wider, or broader. Yeah. But otherwise, you know, ayahuasca can be very tough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Especially if not prepared, cooked in the right way.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes it's mixed with different substances that people have some visions, some colors and something, but it's not about this. It's about getting to know yourself better.
Right people, right shamans, people with a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Because also on our website, always say like you need to really educate yourself what you're doing with psychedelics, plant-based medicine, and who you're working with. You really need to know, because like it became so mainstream that people go like, oh, they do one ayahuasca, and they're like, oh, we'll buy some vines, we'll go to Europe, back to Europe or back to USA, and we are now shamans and we're gonna do that.
Exactly.
And what can happen is like basically you go there and you try to help yourself understand yourself better, and overcome whatever your obstacle is. But what happens is you get even more in deep shit, let's say like that. Like it can get worse. Your mental state can get really bad. So everybody needs to really like understand what they're doing, who they're doing with, right? So that's big one. I'm telling everybody always like, no, be comfortable first, like.
That's why I usually suggest that people go with somebody who already experienced some really deep healing with it. I say many times, it's not everything what shines gold, or I don't know how it is in English, and not everything what shines is gold. Also, so-called shamans that are important to Europe or whatever part of the world, they might not have experiences. They might be good in their environment, place, because they understand their mindset. But when they come to, for example, to Europe, they don't understand what's going on in heads of Westerners.
What is the mentality of the Westerners?
Exactly. How to help Westerners. And so they cannot orient. For me, for example, after I conduct such a session, for me it's very important also the part that comes after, that is called integration.
Integration is that.
Yeah. So the person can connect pieces of knowledge that was given to them, was taught to them during the session. But especially this second part cannot be performed with somebody from one tribe, because has no clue what is going on. For example, it's not a very good story, but anyway, it shows how they are in some way misled in these tribes. I was there, and two women didn't like me very much, what I'm doing there, and the younger one one day started to shout me that I exploit them, that I just take whatever they have and bring there, and I have very easy time here in Europe, and I just earn money, and but she, and I just couldn't understand that my working hours are from 7 in the morning until 10 in the evening, from Monday to Sunday, and they were hanging around with friends, smoking marijuana, having a good time, sleeping, eating, doing nothing. And who actually exploits who?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and with this mindset, coming to Europe and telling people what to do, no go.
Like I said, you have to be really careful about that, like who you're working with, because also, like, example, while I was living in Vietnam, somebody offered me like, oh Matt, we know you want to go ayahuasca. Here's a 23-year-old Polish woman from, she just came from Brazil. And I'm like, what? Yeah, and it's like really cheap. And I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go to Peru, right? Like, and I'm like, oh really? Why not? It's like, why? Because if she's 23, well, I know that you need at least 6 years to become a shaman for ayahuasca. I think by my research is 6 years and I think you have to have. I mean, we're talking about the real shamans, like the ones that also Western goes, the Brazilian or from South Africa goes. Like I'm talking about here once. I forgot his name at this moment, but it's a process where you can connect with if you have a talent. you were born with that, let's say like that? Is that your mission in life? And you can't help, like people think, oh, I'm gonna do one DMT, I'm gonna do one ayahuasca or one magic mushroom and my life will be, no, that's like just a start, that's like a start, like that's like showing you what your focus has to be in your life, and then the work starts, because everything like, I'm gonna do this and then like my life will be perfect. No, it's gonna show you on the in the right way. Because why plant medicine done right way is because it shows you at the right, in the right way what you have to do with your life or what your focus. And done it right way, it gives you exactly information that you can handle it.
Amount.
The level of, doesn't give you the experience that you can't process. Mm-hmm. Your mind is not ready, right? And I was like, no, thanks, I'm good. Like, I don't want to go there, right? So, really, people need to. It's really powerful way to understand yourself, but you need to really prepare yourself for that.
Prepare yourself, and then also integration after.
Like you said before, intention at the beginning, why you are here, what kind of answers you're searching. And then this part at the end is also same as, because maybe you don't understand right away, right? And helps you to understand.
Helps you to understand. Mm-hmm. Also, people like to go to Peru, or usually to Peru, but also to Brazil, to have these experiences with power plants. Yeah. But also there, you need to be very careful. It's the same, like, for example, going to India to study with one yoga master. Yeah. Not everyone who declares him or herself as yoga master is yoga master, and there are a lot of people that are selling, and the same is over there. For me, the process of learning was about 15 years that I started to conduct. But beside this, I studied a lot of psychology, Western psychology, and other approaches, how to help person to heal him or herself, because I don't call myself as being a healer. Because if I call myself as healer, that means that I'm a god. So I will touch punk and you will be healthy. But my mission, my mission here, my purpose here is to teach you how to
heal yourself.
Heal yourself,
Yes.
To heal yourself. And there are different ways how to get to know yourself. I'm conducting, for example, now already for almost 20 years program. It's 2 years program. Become the master of health. And this is own health first. But after 2 years, you already have knowledge how to help others, that they can heal themselves. So we become independent of the system. We know what energy we miss, or we have overflow of this energy, and we know to harmonize this energy. So it's completely without any plant medicine, and it's only with knowledge of energies.
Yes, I like that.
So many ways go to Rome, or how is this?
I read on your internet site that you are searching natural ways of healing more than 30 years. And you actually went different than conventional medicine. Could you explain more about it? Why is that?
We talked about karma and dharma, And somehow I perceived that I was born with a mission.
Okay.
Because already when I was 8 years old, I fall from the table, and I cut a huge part here, and I was screaming at home that I don't want to go to the doctor. Yeah, and the skin was down.
Peeling off,
Yeah, it was down and bleeding, and I screaming, no, running around the apartment, our house, and this blood running down, and I no. Then mother did something to that.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah, stop the bleeding, and actually healed. And then was the second time was at 11. I suppose I had a huge allergies. Really, I was affected so immensely by allergies that I was on corticosteroids, on pills, on sprays, on different how it is called to put on skin.
Creams.
Yeah,
Lotions,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, and injections. 2 times per year I got, I don't know, injection. And when I was 11, again, I screamed at home, I don't want to go anymore there. And at 14 I already started to read things. Like different books from Anthony Neja or Khalid Gibran.
Okay.
This was available
At the time,
at that time, yeah. And then I started also to read some books in Serbo-Croatian, for example. It was a story of, or autobiography of one yogi. This is of Yogananda, and after I read this particular book, I got so interested in yoga that at age of 18 I started to practice. Was yoga, rebirthing, and Bach medicine, this Bach essential flowers.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that
Yeah.
one.
So all this I started. I also I don't know whether this is still a procedure before children enter to the primary school to make a test, but I didn't make through this test.
Okay.
So I was labeled as a child with special needs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was cuckoo already.
From the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Labeled from the beginning. Yeah.
Very, very different.
Okay.
I was signed into the school for special children, but somehow one teacher from the kindergarten said, let's try with Neja with a normal school, if we can go through. And that was how I entered actually. I was able to enter the school, normal primary school. I did normal, good. But why I told this, because at age of 18 when I finished secondary school, I entered to the university to study regular for my regular occupation, and I don't have even one day or working day on this in this field. But I started to study 6 subjects beside this regular. These were all yoga and Reiki, touch for health, homeopathy, Bach essential flowers, craniosacral therapy, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, so many things. I was like crazy studying. And eventually I came also to meet with this shaman, And I studied with him already for 5 years before he brought ayahuasca. And then with ayahuasca, my mind was even like a small child. Wow, that's for me.
It's very powerful. It gives you really especially if I like visuals in general. I mean, you get, for me, right, personally, this, like I said, I have experience with DMT, right? For me, it's like that you get that information, because you can feel it, that something clicked in your head, and you receive that information, now you know what you have to do. Even if you're searching before and try different ways to figure out what is that it keeps you at the same spot in your life, and then they just give you answer. But the thing is, right, again, then when you realize, for me, it completely broke me, right? Broke my whole body, my shield around me. And it was just then the work starts. Until you get that information, you can't even start, because you don't know exactly. But you know deep down in yourself that that's the thing that you need to work on, or whatever that is for each person, right? You just know it. So for me, it's very simple, because if you're brave enough and educate yourself enough to go through this with the right people again, you can get that answers in a very short of time. You don't have, for example, you don't have to meditate 20 years or whatever, right? No, because it's so simple.
And so quick.
But you know that you got the right answer, because you feel it. We feel it, we know that we are here now sitting. You know that when that process is happening in your head, or whatever energy levels there are there, it's okay, thank you for showing me. Okay, and that's it, right? You move on. So I love it, right?
Few ayahuasca sessions, for example, can resolve 10 or 20 years of psychological work, psychotherapies.
Yep.
Yeah.
The best expression I ever heard is ayahuasca is 1 night of ayahuasca is 20 years of psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever visiting.
Exactly.
That is that simple, right? Yeah. And that's why plant medicine and all the other alternatives, approaches to your health, mind, body, food, whatever, that's why the mainstream or the system is trying to put away, because, well, if you can heal yourself, why would you buy a medicine then? Okay, I'm sick, I have stomach. No, maybe you take that tea or that plant, drink that, and suddenly you don't need to pay $5 for the pill or whatever, right? And that's why ayahuasca was also against, or marijuana or everything. It was you're gonna go crazy, all that propaganda, right? But at the same time, alcohol is promoted. Well, why? Because it lowers your energy and keeps you there where they want you with your energy, right?
Yeah. To be like a slave, energy slave. Obeying. And my mission here is to liberate as many people as possible. To start to think with your own head. You're energy being, and you can heal yourself for whatever thing. And you can have in your life whatever you want.
That's the holy grail, actually, which we are all looking for, and it's so close.
For example, when Spaniards came to South America, they were searching for gold, because it was told that tribes and that Indians have gold, but they didn't understand the gold is actually in ayahuasca. When you cook ayahuasca, when it comes to the point when ayahuasca is prepared for consumption, and if you pour, it has golden straits inside.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Like monatomic gold.
No,
You see.
You see, yeah, color, and when you pour, what is left on
on the bottom.
yeah, not
On
in
the
the bottom,
side.
yeah, on the sides, it's golden color.
Well, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's for me, like I'm like I don't know. I'm so happy that I found out that I went that way 10 years, 12 years ago, because it's just like, and I try with all other stuff to, childhood traumas and your environment and your life and whatever, right? And it's just like, okay, here's your answer. Like literally in 7 minutes, I got like my answer. But preparation was a couple of years. Let's make it that clear, right? So it was not like, okay, even before I took mushrooms, I was like, okay, I had to feel comfortable and ready in my mind that I'm gonna do that, right? And also I would like to say that I never took it as like, there was like at the parties a couple of times, but it was never in sense of doing it for fun.
Yeah.
My first intention was like, okay, let me see. I read all of these books all of these that are famous people that talk about it for 20, 30 years about it, right? Because 10, 12 years ago, it still was not popular as it now, right? Now it's more talked about and more about it. But like that mindset, it was like, okay, I feel safe to do that in my head. And I was like, I'm gonna do that. And it was really with the respect doing it. And kind of fear, like being respectful, but not fear in saying, oh, something will go wrong, but okay, with respect, let's say, with the respect, let's say like that, with the respect, like, okay, cool. And the last one I didn't took it with respect, but I did it just because I was bored, and it was 8 hours of mushrooms I'm talking about, and it was 8 hours of like, we told you what you had to do, and you came back, and it was 8 hours of like, really, they call it a bad trip, although there's no bad trip but that time it feels really bad. Like it feels all the anxiety, all the childhood traumas, all of that came back in that night, right?
Yeah, we call it in Brazilian, we call it peia.
Peia.
Okay. It's like some sort of suffering.
Yeah, it's suffering. Oh, it's suffering. Yeah, it is. You do suffer. Yeah.
Yeah, so never, what I suggest, really never do it for fun. But also what I tell people before they go to such a session, at least with me, that ayahuasca is not a magic stick, magic wand, that it will resolve everything, because it's one part that she does, and the next part you need to do. You get knowledge. You might get knowledge. It's high probability that you get knowledge, but you need to do something with this knowledge. It's the same as going to school and the teacher teaches you alphabet, and then you don't practice, and you want to progress to the second grade, and you cannot progress because you didn't learn
the lesson.
Yeah, the lesson. And so you repeat, and it might be already suffering, all the time.
Exactly.
The same,
it's exactly what happened to me, right? Although I was working, but I was not working on it as much as I should, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Neja, your approach to help people is not only helping them healing physical body, but also mind, soul. So your approach is more holistic, more complete. How you tackle this?
I consider human being as consisted from five parts or 5 layers. Physical level, emotional, mind, energy level, and spirit. And for example, if we heal only like allopathic medicine, they are doing something on physical level, but if they don't treat this other 4 levels, so an illness can pop out somewhere else. For example, they cut hand. I had one woman that had a lot of wounds, open wounds on both legs from the knee down, and the option from the allopathic medicine was to cut. But actual cause of what she had on her knees was in her belly. So they would cut, and what then? It would just move to another part of body. And we managed in 1.5 years, we managed to heal everything. And the lady was around 80, was 78, something like this. 1.5 years, we healed everything. And the medical doctor, she was surprised how this was possible. But we started to heal everything. So on the physical level, body, food, what she was drinking, supplements. On the emotion level, what she was bothered with, and what to think, what to do differently, how strategies to do differently, how to change beliefs.
Yes.
On energy level, I gave her to do some exercises, energy exercises to move. There are many practices, for example, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, to move this energy. I'm practicing Ivetelis.
Okay, what is that? Okay, can you explain a little bit?
This is like name for exercises that combine meridians with muscles. So when you practice one, for example, this one, if you do this one is for lungs. You get energy in lungs. So I give her this energy with these exercises, and on spiritual level, we started to calm down her spirit, that she lived more in peace, and then healing came.
From the body, from inside.
From inside out, yes, from inside out.
Actually, the humans are healing. We are healing ourselves. Always. You just, let's say, give the I don't know the name, not expression. You give the cut pogoj. Kaj so pogoji? You give the ti narediš pogoje.
Conditions.
Yes. Okay. You only give the conditions that people can heal themselves again. Yes. And that's
I
for me
them.
very important lesson to the people who listen to this, that everything is in us and we can heal ourselves. We need to understand and believe this, and then the healing can start.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Usually, also people ask me what treatment, what technique do you do? This. Whatever is needed. Because my equipment is so wide. It's like a person comes. I will give an example with car mechanics. I have a lot of he has a lot of equipment. So person comes.
Different tools.
Different tools. the auto mechanic does a scan, what is with the car, then have different things to correct this, change this, and the same is with me. People come and I do scan and I see what's going on, then I have this. If this doesn't work, then will this, and if this does, I have another. I'm very known that I have many aces
in your sleeve. So actually, for one person, it's not necessary that the tool will work. For another will work. So you have to apply according to. Cool. And this is also our, let's say,
I just want to say that, yeah.
knowledge and understanding, and our aim, what we are doing is
to show as much tools as possible, so people, when they go to our website or see the podcast, people like you is like, okay, this is resonates with me. I will go to Neja or whatever, or I'll try this Tai Chi, or because I practice Falun Dafa. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No.
It's a Chinese version of Qigong. It's very popular around the world. The guy was, they said a secta, right? But basically he can't enter China again. So he had to move out of China, right? And it's 5 exercises, right? And literally every exercise is to bring your energy levels up. First is up, then it's for wisdom, then it's for different things. And if you do it like pretty much an hour a day, I right now I'm not doing it, but I had a period of 1 year pretty much on a daily basis. Literally, you calm your mind down, you clean your body by yourself, so all the toxins goes out. And when you start it, the first week you have headaches and diarrhea, so all the toxins out. And the main point is always here in the belly. So everything goes through there, like, so all the diseases, like 95% of the diseases are in your belly, because you don't clean your how do you say, digestive, yeah, exactly. So everything comes out. So if you just do that, so through whatever tool again you do it, or is that drinking some tea, or doing, like I mentioned, Falun Dafa or Qigong or whatever you mentioned, how are you gonna, you're gonna heal yourself just by preventing getting to the stage of getting sick, right? So we want to show that, like, as much as possible tools, and of course we're also learning through this process. Like, you just told us, like, okay, I never heard about this exercise, right? I forgot how you said it, but yeah, so basically now we're gonna go like, okay, let's put that on the website, let's see, and we're also learning through that, and maybe this is something I want to try, right? So, or just to people to see. Right?
Yeah, these exercises come from Chinese traditional medicine combining kinesiology, and it's like me, vitalis, vital. Me, vital.
Okay. Because you have Chinese medicine, especially in USA, also, if we're talking about outside China, right? Especially in USA, you go, like, you just give them a ticket, like you write on a piece of paper what's wrong with you, and they go and they mix the herbs for you, the tea, and they have all this, right? And this is something that in Slovenia and Europe, especially also the knowledge that we still have is because also on your website you talk about the food a lot, right? So I wrote down here, Vata, Pitta, Kapha.
And this comes from Ayurveda.
Ayurveda, yeah.
Because I studied also Ayurveda, and Ayurveda is really basic principle for me, how to prepare food.
Okay.
How to combine different tastes, how to what certain food brings for you. For example, you have a lot of fiery energy inside, but if you take honey now in this time, this fiery energy will increase. So it's good to eat something else instead of honey in the
Morning, for instance.
in the morning.
We just did that
We
today.
can do this one, yes. Okay.
Yeah. For example, now in this part of year, it's good. Okay, it's coming from India. This knowledge, but coconut sugar,
Yeah.
because coconut has cooling effects.
Yes.
So instead of honey to eat, if you want to have something sweet, it's coconut sugar.
Okay. Interesting.
And all these herbs. Unfortunately, a lot of knowledge about the herbs, about food, that resided here in Europe was eliminated in the medieval age.
Yeah, media age. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But also now is the problem with new generations, younger people. Everything is instant. Like the certification, everything needs to be right now, right? Like, is that your social media is scrolling? It's everything. I want now, right? So, I think through that also, everybody's looking through pills, right? The medicines, like they give us at a doctor, like you said, they give you, but it doesn't solve the core problem, right? So you just, I feel better, okay, right? Also people, that's the mentality, like, I don't want to actually deal with it, what's going on. I just want to feel better right away. So if I take that pill, I will feel better, and I don't have to deal like, I'm overweight, like, I'm just gonna take this tea and it's gonna make me feel better, whatever. I give maybe a bad example right now, but like, instead of, no, maybe you have to cut off some foods or maybe go a little bit more exercise and you're gonna feel better, right? But nobody wants that. Everybody wants to find a solution, but not to
Quick
go into quick one, fast one.
And the food lost the value, yeah?
Yeah. Their energetic
but
value.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
we went through the Corona circus.
Yes.
And what I feel and see now, more people are interested in getting healthier in a natural way.
They woke up. I think that was like the plan backfired because people, I completely agree with you. It's not just like, I think they're more awake of what's going on around the world instead of just looking at TV and believe it what they say, what they see and hear on TV. The reason is that because I think people were, after many years of decades or centuries, they were forced to stop. So, because usually you go to your job, you come back, have a family, and you don't really stop and start thinking about what's going on. Is that your personal life around, what's going on globally or whatever, right? And here, you were forced to be with yourself or your family in a closed space, and you had time to think. And I think that a lot of people they were like, okay, and so many like relationships ended because couples were forced to be together, right? And I think that's a lot. I have a question here for you because this is my theory, right? Like, so if you have from 0 to 10 people that are awake or higher consciousness, right, or what's going on, right? And you have all these tools, ayahuasca or whatever we mentioned now, right, to wake up. I think that these people that like at the beginning they were like, oh, let me get a vaccine and stuff like that, right? That's the biggest part because you have people like, for example, from 0 to 3, they will never wake up. Let's call it like that, right? They will never see. It's their part of consciousness. And then you have people like 8, 9, 10 that are already awakened, and some of them are showing the way, right? But that part between 3 and 7 is the biggest or they will wake up and see the life from different perspective or not. And I think Corona did that for the majority of people that at the beginning they were like, oh yeah, I need to get a vaccine, whatever. Now they see like, oh, maybe it was not like they told us, right? And I think when you go to this path or holistic or ayahuasca or whatever, right, it gives you a different perspective, because once you go, you do especially a plant, if you do ayahuasca and DMT, you go to spaces and places where just like your imagination can't go, and through the feeling you know you're there. There's something more, and then if you're curious enough, you go research more, right? And my question is like, example, are you dealing with this kind of levels with your people that comes to you, and you try to, not in the sense of waking up, whatever, but like to change their perspective on the things they're doing now, and
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
And how do you do that? Like,
if I do just
Yeah.
with this,
Yeah.
with physical, on the physical
Yeah.
level, I might not get them to be healed.
Yes.
at the end. But I work, I speak with them, I give them different perspective. We have different exercises, how to liberate emotions, how to recognize what is repeating in their lives. So different things. For example, now I had a retreat, I would tell this retreat for 3 days, and we did with dancing, how a person can liberate herself with dancing, so be very comfortable and relaxed. And already through this, some people recognize how they are stiff. So why? And then we had I would tell us exercises, and I told them, wherever you sense pain, that just means that there is no energy. And we started to search what patterns, what emotions are behind this
Provokes.
Yeah, the provoke. And then we had different breathing techniques. Special technique of healing trance, and special sounds that we use to go deeper, to really quieting the mind, that we can perceive what our soul, spirit is telling us.
right. Thank you for this explanation. Neja, so on your website, there's you explain that through the past, your family and past generations, they all had cancer, and also you got cancer, and then you healed yourself, and you went through all of that. Can you? And that's actually the way you said it is. That path actually led you, besides what you said before about allergies and stuff, to this path where you're now. Can you a little bit explain?
At the beginning, we spoke about karma and
Yeah.
dharma.
Yeah.
So I transformed karma into dharma
Yeah.
with cancer.
So you succeeded, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started to live my talents. Yes, it's true. All my female ancestors passed away for cancer. Usually I'm asked, where did they have cancer? And I said, okay, one on brain, one on breast, one on lungs, one on liver, one on large intestines, one on spleen. So,
You name it, yeah.
You name it, yeah. So wherever. So with me was on ductal glands, but it was not it was okay. It was something. It was going something on my body, but the origin was not on the body. But was in my mind and my emotions, because I was brought up in certain patterns that I learned how to do wrong, and I repeated these patterns, and of course these patterns, my beliefs, my identities, my values, brought me to the stage where I really felt a huge discomfort in my body, and this led to the cancer. But on one side, I perceive this cancer as my largest or biggest lesson in my, not lesson, test or exam in my life. Before I got diagnosed with cancer, I already studied for 25 years everything what I said, from Ayurveda, traditional Chinese traditional Chinese medicine, craniosacral therapy, touch for health, yoga, NLP, name it, many things. So when the student studies so much, then it gets an exam at the end. Pass or not pass.
Okay.
So my exam is checked.
Okay.
I did the exam, and now I'm teaching with more depth. I'm teaching people how to heal themselves. Because to heal this cancer, of course, I did a lot of detoxification processes because I needed to support my body.
Yes.
With the healing, with dealing with this cancer, because just cancer cells produce more than 60 different toxins. So I needed to constantly to clean my body, but this is not enough. Then I checked my emotions, my mind, especially mind, because emotions and mind, these two are very connected. Whatever
mind and emotions.
Whatever mind produces, emotions then follow. And I saw this emotional mind thought component that was not very good, and this was playing, like being guilty all the time of everything. And what I see now with the patients or clients that come for healing of cancer, because I have quite a lot of people that come to heal cancer with me, not to heal with me, but to teach them how to heal themselves. I see a huge pattern of being guilty, not worthy enough. And for example, what I also saw in this process of unwinding this mental construct, mental energy construct, I saw how I pushed myself down, on the level of being slave to others. So much I pushed myself down that even digestive fire, metabolic fire in all my cells died. And cancer is metabolic illness, disease, because cells do not metabolize food that cell receives. They don't transform it correctly so that the cell at the end does not divide correctly and start divide according to what a cell thinks that it's right, and this is cancer actually. So my digestive fire, not just digestive fire, but everything what I pushed so low and allowed others to control me, that everything in the body started to function wrong. And when I recognized this pattern, I needed to stand up and with my behavior actually set limits to others, not allow them to enter into my energy space. And this is a process.
Yes. Is that called the shadow work?
Yeah, it can also...
Is that the right expression?
Yeah, this could be also this expression,
Yeah, where you have to learn your... because what you just mentioned, just what you just said, you had to... Because I think everybody has that in themselves, to whatever degree, right?
Yeah.
But one aspect of that is like how to set limits. Is that in your personal life, workspace, whatever, right? And like you said, like, okay, and a lot of people are like, my always issue was like, okay, I'll do everything for others, like, and I left myself on the side, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, for me, the biggest was like, here's the limit. In professional life, here's the limit in personal life. I don't care who you are, you cross that thing, we're gonna have a problem, pretty much. Like, I'm gonna tell you nicely, but if you push it, we're gonna have a problem. Usually people, you tell them nicely, like, respect my space, respect that, so they do it. But if they don't, like, okay, you need to learn not to feel guilty about later on about it when you say that, and it's a process. It's a process. It's a process. It's not overnight, right? And and once your brains recognize that, when you mentally recognize it, then it goes faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, but it's practice.
It's a practice.
Yeah, we talked before. One thing is to know this.
Yeah.
The other thing is to put everything into your practice. Because we are used to do things that are easy for us. But the biggest personal growth we accomplish when we do things that are difficult for us. For example, the person doesn't do things that we like, we tell them, and the person persists, then we need to really be strict.
Yeah, that's what I meant before.
Yeah.
That's what I meant before, right? It's like, you need to tell them straightforward, no sugarcoating, no nothing. Good, like, whatever person, he or she is like, look, I told you 3 times.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But it's a process, like everything else, And then it's your ego, where like, for me the big one was ego deaths, right? Like, I did the ego deaths processes, and was a really big one. Because until I read what ego is, I didn't really understand what ego is. Like, it's not like, I thought like, oh, you're competitive, you're this, like, you're stubborn, right? I was like, oh, that's my bad ego, right? And it's really, it was not even a question about it. It's nothing to do with it, right? And when I learned it, I was like, oh, okay. And then you see it's your patterns from the past and things like that. What you learned, right?
Yeah.
And this is like, and this is nothing against parents or whatever, but you were born in an environment.
Yeah, exactly.
Through the generations, they have their patterns that they got from their parents.
Culture, patterns.
Yeah, and then culture, your
National,
environment, media, blah, 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 what is expected from you. What you like, oh, you have to be this and have to have a good grades and you have all that, I call it bullshit, right? Because it's like, they mold you into something that is like a soldier or whatever, or a worker or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and then like there's no you can't express yourselves. That's why you have artists like, oh, they can express themselves, right? Or you see like, but and when the thing is, you need to realize who you are and be comfortable with that. And whatever your path is, like it doesn't mean you do this what you do, or us what we do, or whatever. You know, if you want to work a 9-to-5 job all your life and that makes you happy, that's your path.
Exactly.
Or if you want to be a farmer or CEO, whatever, doesn't matter. Just like if that's really what you want to do. The thing is, like, people that don't do, like, stop and think about it, usually they wake up at 60s, 70s, like they're like, when they stop and they're like, shit, maybe I was doing the wrong thing all the time, right? And they're searching for the happiness or whatever the right term is for that, right? And anyway, yeah, so this was like my experience that I went through last year, a lot of it. Right?
You know, listening to this and the process of healing, of personal growth, etc., I'm thinking about, or I'm wondering how you see on a gratitude and forgiveness part. Because I read a lot of it, I didn't even understand 2 years ago, yeah. I have no problem with that, etc. But at the end of the day, you realize that you have, yeah. And when you solve some forgiveness stuff, then you see that things get better and better. So please share with us, because I think this is very important part.
Very important and very good question. So thank you for this question. Yeah, we didn't talk about, but it's very important part. At the beginning, let's say in my teenage years, I was really very mad on my mother. What she didn't do, what she did, what she forced me, what she wanted from me, and how I needed to do it for her.
Mm-hmm.
But the more than I started to forgive her, the more I started to heal myself. Because we need to know that we came here with a mission, each one of us. And we were given just the right parents to teach us the things the way that they taught us, that we can progress the fastest as possible, the deepest as possible, the more and become a really very aware and conscious person the best way possible. Yeah. So this was their job. So I'm very, very thankful now to her that she did what she was doing, because without her I would not be here where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have cancer. I would not have, let's say, wrong partners.
Mm-hmm.
If I was told differently. But now I learned myself, how to value myself, how to respect myself, how to love myself, how to care of myself. And it's completely different energy.
It's liberating yourself.
And I was observing my father and my mother. They had fights quite a lot of times, and with me now, with this all things that they gave to me, I became much more aware person how to conduct personal relationships. So I'm very happy that this all happened.
Yeah, without negative, we don't know what is
Yeah.
positive or what is love. Yeah, without hate, we don't understand love. So the hate, also hating our parents in some period of time, is necessary, I guess, to be able to find out to raise yourself and
and now
start to love.
we came to my name.
Yeah. No, yes. It's meaning
No.
ne in Slovenian mean no, yes.
And it's like unity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unity of duality.
Mm-hmm.
Yin yang together. Only if this is together.
As a whole, balanced.
The true wisdom can grow.
Because when you say like we choose our parents before we come here, because we need to learn the lesson,
Exactly.
but also they have to learn the lesson.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
not
it's
just
mutual.
one. It's
It's
mutual,
mutual.
right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing, and by my research, as we also do you know? I'm not 100% sure about it, but do we also choose death?
The way
we die and when we die, or not, or it's just the birth.
Until now, what I perceive is that when energy is gone, then the death, it depends on whatever can happen.
Okay, so okay. So when that energy is done,
When the
I mean
energy is
anything
done.
can happen then.
Yeah.
Well, the reason you die. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's my perception.
okay.
Right
Okay.
now.
I'm asking because this is what, from my researches, is like okay. We also the way we die. I was never. That's why I'm asking. I'm not 100% on that one.
Yeah.
I know the first one is right, but the second one I'm not.
I believe we change our destiny,
Yeah.
like
We change,
through dharma. If we
Yeah,
do
yeah.
our dharma, then we
Yeah.
change our
Exactly.
path of our course of.
Yeah, we change
Life.
because we change energy.
Yes, yes.
We get, for example, now I could say 1000% more energy than, let's say, 20 years back.
Yeah, because you leave your point, you leave you.
Yeah.
You are you.
But with
Your
this,
being.
Actually, if I can say this, I changed my death time.
For sure. Yes. Yeah, that's true.
But it's for me, it's energy. If you take care of energy, then it's easier to, like if we say postpone.
Yes. Prolong.
Yeah. Prolong.
Yeah, but you go on a different path, right? Like the energy goes differently now, right?
Yeah, you have one favorite word, yeah? I noticed on your website. It starts on F.
Huh?
It starts on F.
I don't know too.
Fuck off.
But I used it only once. I said but I used fuck off to these old patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good, yeah.
Yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Did you one day understand what brought you there and said,
yeah, fuck off.
This is my new life now.
Go
understand?
away.
Go away.
Yeah. For example,
Give your power back, actually.
Sometimes I have talk with my ego, and he starts with this. I just say to him, or her, yeah, whatever. Fuck off. It's enough. We go there. No matter what you say, it's enough.
Yeah, but you have to get to the level that you first recognize it, and then you have power to say it, right? So basically, it's all self-love, right? So you need to learn, because that was for me was the DMT message. Was like, so I'll explain. So it was 7 to 10 minutes, right? And when I had a breakthrough through DMT, right? So it was like a movie first. So, but what I mean by movie was like my life went from scene to scene in 7 minutes, like through hundreds, right? But each part of it felt in time differently and emotionally. So one part could be like 10 seconds and I felt really happy. The next one was 10 years and I felt really happy. So I went through all my life like that, and then next was like 2 minutes. It felt like 2 minutes, but maybe it was like just a second, But and show me, and I don't remember really the scene. And in the end, I just hear the voice and like, you need to learn to love yourself. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like thinking like, oh, thank you for showing me this, right? And I'm thinking it's over, right? And I'm trying to get up because I was laying down, and the voice is just like start laughing like, no, you don't get it yet. Like exactly the same procedure to like each emotion, to the seconds, to the movie, and in the end, you need to learn how to love yourself. And I'm like, and at this point, the second time I was like, really like, I got it, right? I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. And he's like, yeah, now you got it. And that was it. And it shredded me for 3 days. Like, literally, I say, I died, right? In a sense of rebirth, right? And then where the healing started. That's what I said before. This kind of ayahuasca did for you, or any other approach you take it. It's just like how long this approach needs to bring you to that point, right? And since then, like I was like, okay, and I literally had to Google what that means. Like I didn't know, and I was like, what, 35, 34, somewhere around there, right? Like I don't know, and I was like, Jesus. Why they don't teach you this at school? We know why, but like we know why, right? Yeah, but it's like, and it's not easy, right? It's not easy like this because if I wouldn't choose that path, I know I would go back and back and back and back, and you have to go through a lot of this shadow work, and you have to deal with pain and traumas, and you have to deal with your own mistakes and forgiveness and forgive yourself for what you did, and maybe you have to call some people when you fucked it up. I don't know, it's for everybody's different, right? For me, I didn't have that, like luckily I didn't usually, or maybe I don't know yet, or maybe I fucked it up and I still don't know it, but anyway, so you have to go through that process, and once it's done, it's like your body feels like, you lost 200 kilos. It's like you feel lighter, your energy is higher, like you said, right? And then you can go your path, right? Then you just go your path, but it's always a process. It's always you're learning something new. It's just easier. I think it's just easier later on, from my experience.
So, coming back to forgiveness and gratitude, how we would wrap it up, we would say in these terms, why is important, where it ends.
Forgiveness and gratitude bring completely different energy of liberation. That's the point of everything. That simple word, liberation.
When you forgive somebody or yourself, you actually cut the energy cord between, so I understand, between maybe another person and myself, and I liberate myself and the other person.
You liberate yourself and the another one as well, but I understand also from the higher perspective that you got the lesson. That's forgiveness and gratitude come when you learned the lesson.
I completely agree.
Because if you just repeat, I forgive, I went
Yeah.
through so many these sessions. I forgive my mother, and again it appeared again. Yeah, something went in my life, and why she did this to me, with this
Anger.
with this energy of anger, you know. And I knew, no, you didn't. You didn't
Finished
forget.
you.
Yeah, you didn't finish. Go back, and when I really went through this deep process, and it was like onion, layer, and layer. So I learned now that I don't say anymore that I forgave everything to my mother, but for last, let's say, 6 years, nothing came out anymore. But I'm not stuck anymore in this. I did everything.
I don't think it's ever-ending story.
Yeah, what I practice more, and it brings you also to forgiveness, is laughter. So if you laugh, also if something is difficult, I
try to
yeah.
put a laugh.
Not just this, also with, as I said before, that on Vitalis retreat we practiced with different sounds, and it's also ha 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 ha. It needs to be with belly. It needs to be like, here is
The
like
belly
pump,
is the key word here.
It pumps up energy, our life energy that is stored in sacrum, and it goes up, and then everything starts to change. So laughter, and in my healing process to cure myself from cancer, it was not my goal to heal myself from cancer, but to laugh, dance, and sing every single day.
To live,
Yeah.
to be alive.
Because according to allopathic medicine, I had only 4% chances of surviving without their help. With their help, they gave me more. But with my history, they said it's not, almost impossible mission. But I said, okay, everyone will die eventually, someday, and I just want to die my way. And that was it.
Yeah, I don't. I can't imagine to be in that position.
Yeah.
Although there are different kind of pains, right? Mental, cancer, but in the end of the day, it's everything in your head, right? And if you believe that you can heal yourself, whatever, you know, you have better chances to heal yourself than
chances.
because so there's many cases of people healing themselves when people told, or the doctor told them, like, yeah, we can't do anything for you, right? Or you have mothers, like, I don't know, I just saw maybe a couple of weeks ago a case when the newborn baby was dead, and like they're like, oh, we can't do anything, and basically she was just holding her baby and for 20 minutes, and I think she was saying like, I love you or something, or you know, you're alive. I forgot what she was saying it, and I think a couple minutes later the baby, you know,
Get alive.
got alive, and it was okay, and you know, and you have these kind of cases, like I know a father, his son was born deaf, and he was just from, I think it's actually the author, when I forgot which author, but really famous book, and he was just
talking to his son through the head since the baby. I think like you're gonna hear, you'll be able to hear and whatever, and then eventually through the how do you say, for when you put the device in
a hearing aid device.
Hearing aid device, and eventually start hearing, and then actually he was able to hear like a normal person. Although from the beginning they were telling him, he was like, no, I'm not giving you up. And he was just telling him through here, he was just talking to him, and the baby was feeling, and he was doing all the time, every day. And I think Dr. Lipton proved that through scientific way, how you change your DNA through thinking and
through energy.
In the end, everything is energy, but like it starts in your head that you give the direction of where you're going. Right?
And again, we are back that we have ability inside to heal ourselves. And sometimes the doctors can actually make contrary, because people believe them.
Unfortunately.
So the message is believe that ourselves, that we can heal ourselves.
I mean, I would like to emphasize here that nothing against the doctors or whatever. It's just that because in the end of the day, if I break my leg, I really need a doctor, right? Sure. But what we're talking about, what I want to say, like, because I would like to be careful saying like, because when I say like, I don't want to get vaccine, they're like, oh, you're anti-vaccine, you're anti-doctor. I'm like, no, I'm not anti. I'm just against this vaccine. Like, I don't want that shit in my body. Like, like, what the fuck I know it's inside, right? Like, pretty much, like, oh, you can't find 20 years for AIDS or malaria, and like suddenly, like, magically in a year and a half or 3, you find this miracle vaccine, right? So like, it's just like, we want to say there's like much more you can do yourself than just go there and take a pill, pretty much, that's it.
Yeah, we need to be really aware that allopathic medicine has its place in this world.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, they are brilliant in surgeries, in fixing broken legs, and for example, my sister fall down, and she was not breathing. I don't know, I sang 5 songs, these healing songs, because I know from shamanic tradition different songs. I sang these songs. She was bleeding from her head, from her nose, from her mouth, from her ears, from her eyes, everywhere. Wow. Blood was coming on, and she was not breathing for about 20 minutes. Then she came back, and I was pressing different points on body that she started to breathe. But thanks God, we have allopathic doctors.
Yeah.
The ambulance came, and they took her to the hospital, and she needed a surgery. She had a huge hematoma, like 10 centimeters like wide and 2.5 thick on the left side. They don't know what was first, or the vein broke, or first this happened because she was in some disbalance. She had actually luck that she fell behind my back, that I was there and sorting this out and keeping her energy in the body. But also doctors, they cut off 1/3 of her left brain, half of small brain, and she doesn't have main vein on the left side, but she functions completely normally.
Yeah, that's.
So this is the example of combining both approaches.
This is I couldn't do this.
Of course, this is what I want to. This is really important that we explain it, because like I see parents, right? Like they from the beginning they don't feed the baby proper way, or just the vegan way, or whatever, right? Like whatever they belief system is. Because like it's important we said that, you know, we need both ways, right? It's just that you can do so much more yourself if you want it, and if you know where to look for, or the knowledge and whatever, right? And that was I like that we explained that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, this is for me very important.
Yeah.
But allopathic medicine is very bad in the area of chronic diseases.
Yeah.
Very bad. They don't know what to do. For example, I had one family, and the oldest daughter, at that time that they came to my office, she was 6 years old, and she had a chronic disease, and they were vegans. And according to disease and everything what I did, I suggested to them that it's very suggest that it's very good for her to start with some animal products.
Mm-hmm.
We needed about 1.5 years that they started to do this, but now even medical doctors congratulated them because daughter is now 8. That she's doing so good, and she doesn't need any pharmaceutical products. Just to switch, you know, from their belief, you know, to what is really important for that child. I said, you can continue eating this, but for the child to prevent this disease, it's very very good to eat also some animal products. And they started, and a huge success.
Yeah.
So sometimes people say to me, so you are vegan or you are vegetarian. I don't want to label myself that way. I just don't want. Because in the case if my body needs something from animal kingdom, I will pray for the animal, I will express gratitude to the animal, and then I will eat, because I also need to heal myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, the thing is, like with this vegan and all of that, right? Like, it's also a popular, right? To be a vegan, and you're doing well for the environment, and you're doing this, right?
Are you?
No, my next sentence was like, no, this is what they think they're doing, right? It's not. It's actually opposite. But
Yeah.
that was not the point. The point is like, a lot of people go vegan or vegetarian for the wrong reasons. They don't go for the health, but because of the belief system. So, I'm helping some, animals or whatever, right? The thing is, for me, is like, you need to listen to your body. I was vegetarian for about 4 or 5 months, and I lost a lot of weight. I felt better, but because my lifestyle was very active from early morning till late, or work, or different sports or whatever, I just like, at some point I was like, I don't have any energy. I just like, I need meat, and I really enjoyed that part of my life, and just like, I was like, oh, I need meat. I don't have enough energy. And you have people that only eat fruits, and then you have people that only eat vegetables. And like, look, if that works for you, it's fine. It's fine. But you can't say like everybody should eat fruits.
Yes.
Everybody should eat just meat. Everybody, like, no, you need to figure out what's good for you. Like, and then eat that, like, and in the end of the day, if you eat something unhealthy that is like, and you enjoy it, like, for example, ice cream, eat. It's gonna make you happy. Your energy is gonna be better than if you say, "Oh, I'm not gonna eat ice cream because it's not good for me," or whatever, right? Like, one example. Right?
Yeah. Here I'm a bit reserved.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell me your opinion on what I said.
Because,
Please.
Yeah, because if people feel some symptoms, then they need to be careful about the foods.
Mhm.
For example, yesterday it was in my clinic was one man, and he said that he eats very healthy in the morning, fruit smoothie, and in the evening fruit smoothie, and during the day he had quite healthy foods written. So, for example, vegetable soup and some potato, rice,
Mhm.
but his liver were collapsing.
Okay.
And I told him, do you know that fruits in your body, if you eat them too much, convert into alcohol
Uh-huh.
and damage your liver?
Yeah.
So, and in such cases, even he feels that he wants to eat, I discourage him to eat this.
Mhm.
So I say to people when they come for examination, I said to them, okay, take, let's say, 6 months or 1 year to heal yourself, and then from time to time, of course, you can sin
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit with ice cream, or
Mhm.
some people like to drink some wine or I don't know what.
Mhm.
But what I really, and this is in any case, what I recommend, if people eat things, that they eat organic things, organic food.
Not processed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, also meat. If they eat meat, I say find farmer that you know,
Mhm.
and you know how he produces
Yeah.
this food.
Basically, throw away processed food.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Pretty
Yes.
much is straightforward.
But also,
Yeah.
ice cream is processed.
Yes.
And from time to time, I also have ice cream. And this is a test for my body if can work good to process also not very good foods.
Yeah.
From time to time, for pleasure, for
Exactly.
I'm human.
True.
Yeah, I'm human.
And there is no sin then, yeah?
Yeah.
If it's a pleasure, it's only a
Yeah.
pleasure. If you're doing
from time to
from
time,
time to time.
Yeah.
from time to time.
In balance, everything.
Yeah,
Let's call it like that.
yeah.
Like before, what I meant is like in general. Like okay, you were talking about people that have actually serious problems, and of course, if he needs to stop eating. But if I was talking more in general, not example in cases if somebody comes to you or somebody else has a serious problem and whoever tells you, look, you need to stop eating meat or vegetable or fruit, you need to stop so you can get better, right? But in general, if you listen to yourself, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about sick people or whatever. Listening to yourself, right?
Also hearing yourself, because one thing is mind is very strong, and mind, for example, I'm practicing this kinesiology tests, and person thinks, oh, this chocolate is so good, and it makes me feel also my body feels so good after this chocolate, and then I do test.
Okay.
A person puts a chocolate in mouth, and I do test, and muscle just drops because cannot hold.
You mean you do a physical test later on?
Physical test, because you don't have energy after you think you have, but your body tells you. So many people don't know how to listen.
Yeah.
Body.
Okay.
I agree.
Because we don't learn this in schools.
True enough.
We learn in schools just.
Everybody's saying listen to your body, but we don't know how to listen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Until something bad came. Yeah.
Can you explain what
kinesiology test?
Okay, what is that?
This is muscle test.
Okay.
I test whether muscle holds or relieves. pressure that I put. But this pressure is really so subtle that person sometimes even doesn't feel. When I teach this to my students, this is included also in this 2 years program, Become the Master of Health. I teach them how to do it. It's not, you can find this muscle test also on the internet and they just hang on muscles and this is not muscle testing, because you need, this is art of muscle testing, because you feel when the muscle is strong and when muscle is without energy. And with the food that you put in mouth and your body is not comfortable with this food, muscle will drop.
Wow. Again, some simple test.
It's a very simple test.
To recognize
very simple test.
If the food is okay or not. Okay.
But you can also feel, for example, by yourself, if after the lunch, if you need to go to bed, then food is not good for you.
Probably.
If you are full of energy, then food was good for you.
And the amount.
And the amount,
And everything, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Like, okay, so when people come to you, right, for help, what kind of different types of people come? It's not just cancer. You mentioned one has a problem with the liver, right? So, what kind of type of people?
In general, come only people that want to be healed in a natural way.
Okay.
This is prerequisite. I tell everybody that cannot work with me if a person still doesn't know whether this works or doesn't work, because I'm not here to convince anybody that it works. Myself, I'm the most
good example.
Good example that this works. To heal cancer, I didn't use chemotherapy, radiation, hormonal therapy, pain blockers. I rejected everything, declined everything. So if this is not something that convinces them, then it's better to find somebody else. So this is something.
That's the basics.
This is the basics. That they want to be healed in a natural way. They want to learn how to listen themselves better, how to come in contact with their essence. This is what is
it's about.
This is precondition.
So where can people find you?
They can find me on internet.
What's the website?
English one for now is nejazupan.com.
Okay. It will be in the description. So and the Slovenian one is.
For now is bisernica.si, but I'm changing the name because I overgrow the name Bisernica.
Okay.
Bisernica means the pearl. And the pearl shell is producing pearls. But how pearl shell produces pearls? Something that is painful for the pearl, for the animal, comes into its meat, and the pearl starts to cover this with
foreign particle.
With the sheets of this really brilliant material. And my life was actually all about this. So all the pains that I had, I transformed into pearls. But now, as I started living Dharma, I'm on the path of transforming in the marketing words, rebranding.
Rebranding yourself, yeah.
My company,
Okay,
what
good.
I'm doing. So now I'm searching a deep feminine name of the goddess, feminine goddess that represents myself, because I really now it's very popular, this transgender, and I don't know what.
Yeah.
I wanted to be male when I was a child. I didn't want to have any female organs, and I dreamed that I will cut all my breasts away, and now I'm very comfortable in this feminine energy, and I overcame all these pains that were in myself, and now I'm searching
How to express yourself in the right way, to rebrand yourself
Yeah.
in the right way.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
will represent your growth and the
Yeah.
level you are at
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Nice.
Nice.
And, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of more questions, but you have anything else you want to ask? Because I for me it was really like while we're talking, I can see my life, right? Like I can, okay, and there's like a key or a moment when I'm like, oh, okay, this is like I need to look into it, or but it's very interesting.
I'm sure that this podcast will cross my mind several times, and then it pops out some thoughts, blockages, whatever, help also me in my personal growth of finding where can I improve or be better version of myself.
And also like people now know that like they can look at your website, see this is for them the way that you do it, right? And well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Neja, for the time and being here. And all the information, as always, will be in the description. So thank you very much.
Thank you for invitation. It was a pleasure for me to talk to you guys, and thank you for all the public that is listening. Enjoy your life.
Thank
Thank you. Bye, guys. See
Bye.
you soon.